La Liga title race, it's been definitely interesting. That's the best definition because it's the Brasileirão, it's La Liga that we're seeing as Girona leading the way.
It.
So interesting to see. And Atletico de Madrid having a tough time against Bilbao. Anything can happen this season in La Liga, and we gotta highlight the bad form too of Barcelona. Xavi ball is not going well right now, and Barcelona has gone 17 games without winning for more than one goal. That shows the lack of efficiency, and Barcelona are first in big chances missed in La Liga and first in expected goals. Lewandowski needs to do better and expect Vitor Roque to have a chance. Vitor Roque can make something happen for this Barcelona team. If you see him play with Atletico de Paranense, you will know. Vitor Roque had 44 games, 21 goals, and 7 assists in 2023. Lewandowski, this is what you need. Competition in order to maybe get a Piccini. That's very bold when you're competing against Jude Bellingham right now.
Yeah, it is. And who's in second place but
Griezmann.
former Real Madrid? No. Well, no, it's Borja Mayoral.
Mayoral.
For Getafe.
Okay, good player.
Former Real Madrid loanee. He's up to 10 goals now for Getafe. But listen, you already said it. I think you put the blame kind of squarely, obviously, on the attack right now. I mean, nobody can make Xavi make Ferran Torres put the ball in the back of the net, make Rafinha put the ball in the back of the net, make Lewandowski put the ball into the back of the net. You would think that their quality would precede themselves and they'd get it done. But we all knew at some point Lewandowski would slow down some. I'm not saying he's not going to score a whole lot of goals and heat up again, but come on. I mean, that's like he's a pretty old striker. He's been out there for a really long time, and he definitely seems like he's slowing down some, which is weird to say. But I think one of the bigger things that might be getting papered over some is, I guess I'll call him, just because they both start with G, but I'll call him the Gavi glue. Gavi is a bigger piece to that midfield than I think anyone was aware of. Yeah, I mean, I think his tenacity, his persistence, I mean, a lot of those intangibles we talk about, on top of the fact that he could go deep lying, he could play forward, he could play on the either flank if he needed to. I mean, he was wear your heart on the sleeve type of a Barcelona
Captain,
appeal. And I know he's so young, but I guess maybe the Gavi glue is a real thing.
It's
because
true.
he is that glue to that midfield. And I think I certainly wasn't giving him enough credit for maybe what's happening there. No, does that force those three gentlemen up top? Or I know João Felix is like the only one scoring goals right now, but any of those guys, it doesn't force them to put the ball into the back of the net. But I think missing Gavi is a big piece to this kind of hiccup here. And this is a nice test of what Xavi's managerial skills are. Because we have to remember, Xavi is a ridiculous player, but his managerial career has been relatively limited before taking over Barcelona. So this is a really interesting period of time as they chase Real Madrid and they chase Girona, of all teams, at the top of the table. But
and for Deku,
I think
as a sporting director too for Deku, he was just appointed. Yeah. Deku didn't appoint Xavi. So it must be a tense time if things don't go well. If Barca don't finish top 2, Xavi's going to have a tough time with Deku. It's not going to be some difficult conversations would happen. And right now, Frenkie de Jong can play, Pedri can play, Gundogan can play, Oriol Romeu can play. And without Gavi, we see a bad Barcelona. He's the heartbeat of that team and the captain of the team too. Intensity in duels, leadership in terms of the pitch. You can see every single point Gavi does take over, Breton. I completely agree. And the Barca team is desperate towards having a CDM, a top-class CDM. Kimmich or Zubimendi would do just that. Not having a midfield with Pedri, Frenkie de Jong, and Gundogan, that all of them cannot do what a Busquets role or a Rodri can do. That's why I'm referring to Zubimendi and Zubimendi and Kimmich. Players that would change immediately the style of play and are very, very needed. Very needed, Bretson.
Yeah, well,
and wingers, efficiency. Barcelona need efficiency with their wingers. The best trio we've ever seen at Barcelona, that iconic trio with Messi, Suarez, and Neymar, they scored 364 goals in 3 seasons. We do not have remotely the same feeling with the front trio now at Barcelona. The downgrade is immense. Even a Luis Suarez at Grêmio, right now at Barcelona, he will be scoring goals. Back in 2020, one of the worst decisions ever in Barcelona history happened by letting go of Luis Suarez for 6 million to Atletico de Madrid. And he scored 21 goals that season for Atletico, and Atletico won La Liga, their first time in 7 years. 7 years, the Luis Suarez effect, and they replaced him with Braithwaite. I hope Deco doesn't do decisions like this for the future of Barcelona. It can happen. Alemany left. I want to see better solutions, Breton. Wingers that score goals. Ansu Fati's at Brighton. Ansu Fati scores more than Rafinha, in my point of view.
Heck, I'd like to see more of Mark Gay, but I don't know if he's going to give him the opportunity.
He will.
There,
he has to.
You think so?
He has to.
Okay,
he has to.
You
Mark
need
Gay
somebody. You need somebody
Vitor
with a chip on his shoulder, right? And I think only La Masia can provide that right now. You need a chip on their shoulder, someone that is going to fight tooth and nail. I'm going to be. This is a little tongue-in-cheek, and it's probably a little too forward, but from what I've watched of Barcelona, the one thing I am not is entertained.
Exactly.
Right? There's a project that's happening here. I'm sure Xavi will get to that. He probably doesn't have the personnel he needs, so obviously I'm willing to wait. But if it's the difference between a Barcelona game and a Real Madrid game, and I am a complete neutral, right, in this scenario, I'm going to pick the Real Madrid game.
For sure.
As it stands in terms of how Xavi is lining them up. And I think he's capable of probably expecting more of them, but he probably doesn't have the personnel he needs to do it just yet. But I do have to say, as much as I like Vitor Roque, seeing the pictures and the videos of Endrick coming off of a second Brazilian Round Championship at the tender age of whatever the heck he
17.
is, much younger than I am, right? 17 years old. Watching him have a conversation with Eduardo Camavinga, with Jude Bellingham, already looking like he's part of, right, Los Blancos. It is pretty interesting to see how that is just kind of an addendum to an already incredibly strong core of Wonder Kid Galacticos that they've amassed there.
Well said.
So it's interesting, and yet Barcelona is not out of the race, and yet Barcelona is not out of Champions League football. So they are still in this thing. But January, I don't know what magic they can pull, considering, or what levers they can pull to get who they need. So Vitor Roque, it's going to come down to whether or not he can hit that ground running.
Imagine Echeverri. Imagine Echeverri with Lamine Yamal, both wings for Barcelona. It's the second half of the season. It'll cost 25 million Barcelona, but it would be promising to watch. And then Vitor Roque to replace Lewandowski, boy, oh boy. Rafinha is not looking good. And I'm talking about under 18 players to replace Rafinha. Okay, Rafinha needs to start scoring goals. Rafinha needs to start looking like a Brazil national team player to start, because Martinelli's here to stay. Paquetá, even a hat-trick of assists. Elite players.
Second Brazilian to do that. Second Brazilian, right? In Premier League history to do that?
Roberto Firmino being the first. Yes, for sure.
That's correct.
That is fact. And Kudus and Paquetá, what a duo that is growing in London, okay? I wanted to mention that. But you said Real Madrid, it's fact. Hendrik has an aura when he meets those players of Real Madrid. Hendrik, you can see that he's charismatic at 17. Hendrik is a player that will not leave the Brazil national team anymore. Hendrik is a world-class potential player. And the Jude Bellingham and Hendrik duo will do proper damage next season. It will be Hendrik talked big time. I'm not predicting already ahead of Rodrigo and ahead of Vinicius, but I've said it. The potential of Hendrik is to win a Ballon d'Or in the next 5 years if he goes right with Ancelotti. Ancelotti or Xabi Alonso. That would be.
But what Endrick possesses that is going to hurt Barcelona long term because of his rapid ascent to stardom. Endrick possesses that intangible that is just that desire to win. and that desire to fight for every ball. I remember being more impressed than the goals that he scored for Palmeiras, being more impressed with his constitution on the pitch, right? His ability to run after every ball. And I don't know, that probably softens over the years, right? When you're 23 and you're just making millions and millions and millions. But this kid right now will fight for every inch, and that is going to be such a boon, like a good addition to Real Madrid's second half of the season, assuming, nothing bad happens there. But I just think that if you're picking Endrick over Vitor Roca, I think Barcelona would rather have Endrick lining up for their 11 than Vitor Roca.
Ooh, that's early. And that's a debate in Brazil.
It is early.
Right now, Vitor Roque and Hendrik, they have the same potential in my point of view. But I agree. In terms of talent, raw talent, I think Hendrik has more than Vitor Roque. Vitor Roque, trabalha, meu caro. É o início. It's the start, okay? And we for sure believe in Vitor Roque. We follow him since he was at Cruzeiro. Vitor Roque. Yeah. But right now, if Jude Bellingham gets a shoulder injury for Real Madrid, no more Champions League and no more La Liga 1. No more La Liga 1. Even Girona can be ahead of Jude Bellingham. No, Real Madrid. They need him. If they don't have Jude Bellingham, that will be very bad. But this season, Real Madrid, no Courtois, no Militão, no Camavinga, no Tchouaméni at times, no Vinicius at times, but Bellingham was consistently there, and Hendrik, I believe, in the future will consistently be there too. Calafat masterclass in scouting with Florentino Perez. It's not easy to do a rebuild and to stay at the top, just like we see with Man City this season. Real Madrid are doing a great job and great scouting. Great scouting.
Well, and listen, I know even though the La Liga table says otherwise, right? I know we can't count Girona
I'm saying
at the
great
top
scouting,
of
Breton.
these powerhouses, but listen, if we're talking great scouting,
exactly.
City Football Group being a 47% owner, they obviously deserve a whole lot of love. Heck, for those of you that don't know, Pep Guardiola's brother, Per Guardiola, is the chairman and also a minority investor / minority owner of Girona as well. And yes, while they are City Football Group built, if you will, or financed,
47%.
that does not that does not take away from their ability to identify talent that will go in and immediately become part of the fabric of what Girona is trying to do. Yes, there is a good amount of overperformance here, probably to whatever the mean is that we have not identified. But they have done what they have done to be near the top of the table, right? They have done what they have done by identifying wonderful pieces that can contribute right away at a La Liga level, a leading La Liga level. And I'm talking about bringing in Eric Garcia from Barcelona, bringing in Daley Blind on a free, bringing in Pablo Torre, who has not had a massive impact just yet, but I am going to say it right now, Pablo Torre will have a big second half of the season for Girona as their depth get tested. Bringing in Paulo Gazzaniga, bringing in Alex Garcia was a free transfer. Cost them nothing. And that guy could be sold for 2025 right now and be their all-time large, all-time club record sale. So all of that pales in comparison, doing it on shoestring budget is pretty amazing. And yet when they spend money, they have hit pretty much every time. Bringing in Saigankov from Dynamo Kiev, bringing in Artem Dovbyk is their club record signing, and he's got 8 goals, 4 assists this season. I don't know what to tell you. It might be a lot of luck there, but you have to give them a whole lot of credit for what they are getting for what is currently on their roster. And Christian Stuani, 37-year-old Uruguayan striker, is like the purest testament to this because he has been with them through their promotion originally, then their relegation, then their subsequent promotion again, and now they are second place in La Liga's table, and he's got 6 goals, 2 assists, and just had a goal and an assist against Barcelona as they became, captains of the Catalunya, whatever you want to call it, right? So it is just... we don't talk enough about how cool this story is, or maybe we do, but I love talking about it. And their manager, Michel, deserves credit as well. I don't know too much about where he came from, But it is going to be interesting.
He came from Huesca,
Okay.
and he is an investment from Guardiola's brother. The chairman of Girona trusts a lot Michel that has 108 games for Girona managing. This shows you got to trust your manager and pick the right players for the right style of play. Girona is shows that that's the definition of fact when you do things the right way. Girona, Newcastle, we have new teams ascending to the world's highest level in football. And it's all because of elite scouting and great decision making. Guardiola's brother chairman is elite for Girona for what he's doing. He's been a key factor in Saviu's decision, Miguel Gutierrez's decision, players like Artem Dovbyk, Jan Koto too. What a right back he's playing for Girona.
Absolutely.
At Braga wasn't at his best, but at Girona he's proving to be key. Alex Garcia, 3 goals, 4 assists, and he was selected for Spain. The captain of Girona, as you mentioned, came for free. So good decision-making being rewarded. But do you believe Girona will finish top 3 in La Liga, Breton?
I'm going to say that I don't think this magic is fizzling out anytime soon. I believe that there is enough parity within La Liga, enough fixtures where Barcelona will drop points, or even Real Madrid will drop points from here on out. I believe Girona will finish top 3 by the end of the season, and I do believe that they will be in European football. Which I think would just be amazing to see.
Bold.
And you know who's not in European football? It's kind of like a changing of the guard in some respects. Sevilla, dead last, Champions League, and just let go of Diego Alonso. Diego Alonso after 14 games. 14 games, and he's gone. It's turmoil for them. But I know a lot of Europa League teams are sighing a wonderful sigh of relief, seeing that Sevilla is sent home without anything going on. But they did. They followed up getting a dead last in their Champions League group with I don't know, losing to Getafe 3-0.
So that was bad. That was bad. And Long did beat them, which did disable the fact that they can go to the 3rd place and get Europa League. And Sergio Ramos was definitely not happy to not get European competitions in the Sevilla team that he went to play European football. So that was not good to see.